So today we're going to have a look at some cycle paths. Something came up on one of the local discussion groups about being close past on a road just up here. Now, anybody who rides a bike will know that close passes are incredibly common. So the person put up a little comment about how he'd been close past. I guess just about here was where the incident happened. And one of the comments was, why don't you use the cycle path? And it is a valid comment, because lots of car drivers have heard how cycle paths are being provided, costing a great deal of money, and yet cyclists don't use them. So let's go and have a look and see why those pesky cyclists don't use the cycle path. Well, firstly, as you may have noticed, as we turned onto this cycle path, is there's a very worn out picture of a bicycle that's been painted on the pavement. That's it. Other than that, is it a cycle path? How would we know? But this is a problem here. All this debris. I'm on a gravel bike, but on a road bike, that's kind of very limiting. Even as it clears, you can hear the debris crunching underneath the tyres. So it makes it reasonably unsuitable. And this is the other problem. Morning! People are out walking their dogs. They're entitled to be here. Of course they are. But it does mean that as a cyclist, you have to continually stop, start, wait for people to get out your way. There's an overhanging piece of greenery that's just hit me in the face, and there's a road sign that I have to duck to go under. And when you come to here, you don't know where the cycle path goes. If you were coming the other way, it's even worse, because you have to cross two directions of traffic just to get to the cycle path. So let's go and have a look at some of the cycle paths around Bridgend. And they're not all joined up. So even if you wanted to only ride cycle paths, you'd be very limited in where you could go. Now this, on the map, is designated a cycle path, and yet there's a sign up there saying no unauthorised access. I don't know who put that sign there, whether it was just the residents trying to claim ownership of the path, but there really is no reason for it. Well, as a new cyclist, you'd come down there and you'd think, well, what do I do now? You carry on straight ahead and you end up on the main road. Right, now we're going to ride through a relatively modern housing estate. So they've got footpaths right through green spaces. That was the requirement at the time these houses were built. And as usual, the council has just decided, well, we've got footpaths, we'll paint a picture of a bicycle on them, and then we'll claim it a cycle path. It's not really suitable, but that, in my opinion, is the biggest issue. Councils only pay lip service to cycle paths. And then we get to this situation where they've put anti-cycle barriers, so you've really got to stop. Some people would even have to get off the bike here to be able to get through. Alright, now I wanted to go straight ahead here. That's not going to be possible. Which way should I go? There's no signs. We just have to guess. And once again, the anti-cycle barriers. Overhanging greenery. Oh, here's the cycle path. Oh, I definitely can't go through this one. This one really is tight. But it is a cycle path. Look, there's the picture of the bicycle. So we're off again. Quite a nice little path that'll keep us off the main road. Apart from all the debris, of course. Oh no, wait a minute. It ends. Just ends. Simple as that. So you've got a choice now. Get out on the main road or turn around and go back. See, one of the biggest problems is, certainly in my area, probably in a lot of areas, is the councils don't want to spend the money on cycle paths. So they find bits where they've got a wide piece of pavement, paint a white line on it, and a picture of a bicycle, and they tell you, job done. But they'll make a big thing about how they provided a cycle path. Serves to wind up the car drivers. Because they believe that their taxes, their rates have been used to provide a path, and the bloody cyclists won't use it. We live in an age where everybody thinks that whatever they want to do, they should be able to do, completely unhindered. People who drive cars believe that they're entitled to be on the road, and they're entitled not to be held up by a cyclist. People out walking their dogs believe they're entitled to be out walking their dogs. And if they want to block the entire path while they saunter along, then they should be allowed to do so. And in the middle, here's the old cyclist who gets it from both ends. Car drivers hate us, pedestrians hate us. That's not to say that cyclists are beyond reproach, because they're not. There's one or two of them that are quite arrogant and give the rest of us a bad name. But then, really speaking, that's the same with car drivers and pedestrians. 90% of them friendly, cooperative and prepared to work together. So this is the path which goes up north. We'll follow this path all the way to Nantymoyle. It's the alternative to the Tondy Road. But we have had to ride quite a long way out of Bridgend to get to it. Quite a long way on ordinary roads. Again, it's very bumpy, covered in debris, and quite difficult to ride on a road bike. Trust me, I know, because I've done it. Now the path goes up there, to the right, but it's gated off, which means you have to ride through the gravel, down an off-camber slope, and that's quite difficult on a road bike. This, covered in debris, is actually marked as a toucan crossing. I know they're cutting the grass, but I can assure you they won't sweep the path when they're done. So, as you can see, this path may be quite nice for leisure cycling. Oh, low-hanging trees again. Going out on your gravel bike or your mountain bike. But it's not really suitable for a road bike, and it's not suitable for somebody who is getting from A to B. So we have to go across a bridge, and once again through a little narrow opening. Duck for the overhanging trees. And then come to another set of barriers. And somebody's handily left a piece of stick in the middle of the path, which could very easily cause a cyclist to crash. So let's get out on the road and see the difference. The first thing you notice is the road is clean. So where the road is wide enough, it makes perfect sense to be riding on the road. In common with most cyclists, I don't ride in a way that inconveniences traffic because I want to inconvenience traffic. I don't go through red lights without looking, and all the other silly things you're told. Why? Because we're vulnerable road users. We just want to stay safe. But sometimes the public road is the only suitable option. So if you're new to cycling, I would encourage you to use cycle paths wherever you can. But don't let motorists intimidate you into believing you shouldn't be on the road. Morning.